So, morning. Last time we finished go back in protocol. This is the last example in go back in protocol. The main aim of this example is what will happen if a frame is lost in go back in. So here we assume that frame 0, 1, 2, and 3 are sent. Frame 1 is lost, and the receiver receives 2 and 3. Okay. So now we'll consider our window size between 0 and 6. We'll start by sending frame 0, so we'll shift Sn. At the beginning, we'll start Sf and Sn at 0, start of the window, and the frame to be sent at the same frame. Then we will send frame 0, so Sn will be 1. Frame 0 will receive correctly. So once frame 0 is received, once frame 0 is received, Rn will increment to 1 and send acknowledgement of 1. It means I am waiting for frame 1 now. So frame 1 will be sent, but in this case frame 1 will be lost. So Rn will be the same, and frame 1 not received. Rn will still waiting for 1. The sender will send frame 2, then frame 3 until timeouts happen. طبعا هنا arrive frame 2 and frame 3 arrive at the receiver is still waiting for frame 1. So when 2 and 3 come to the receiver, will it receive it or will be discarded? Will be discarded. Then the window size of the receiver and go back in is 1. So the receiver is waiting for only one frame. This frame is frame 1. So the receiver is waiting for frame 1. Any other frame will be received, will be discarded. Okay? So frame 2, frame 3, even if the receiver received it correctly, it will discard them. Then after timeout of the receiver 1, then frame 1 is lost. So after timeout of frame 1 will be retransmitted. And what about frame 2 and frame 3? Will be retransmitted also. Why? Yes, because in go back in, once any frame is lost, all the window is sent again. So the window now, I received only acknowledgement 1. So the window now shifted to be from 1. Okay. So I will resend 1, 2, 3. In this case, it will be received correctly. So receiver will shift to 2. 2 received correctly will shift to 3. 3 received correctly will shift to 4. And after receiving 1, send the acknowledgement 2. After receiving 3, send the acknowledgement 3. After receiving 3, send the acknowledgement 4. And each acknowledgement, I received acknowledgement 2. Slide means 0, 1 slide until 4. Okay? Is it clear how we shift the RN and how we shift the sender and the receiver? Important to know when to shift the RN, when to shift the SF. Because in the exam, I am asking us to draw the RN and the SN. So I need to see what will happen in RN and SN when transmitting or receiving any frame. Okay? Yes. SF, indicator of the equal to 0. At the beginning, the window start at 0 and the frame I will send is 0. I send frame 0, so SN now is 1, but SF is still 0 because I didn't receive acknowledgement. After receiving acknowledgement, I will shift SF because I received acknowledgement for 0, acknowledgement 1, so I will shift SF to 3 and 1 and 2. So SN is 3 and so on. So SN, what I will transmit Rn is the waiting frame. So here I am waiting for 4. Here I am waiting for 3. So at the beginning I'm waiting for 0. I received 0. I'm waiting for 1. Right? And this is also equal to the acknowledgement function. Okay. طبعا here the main message, if one frame is lost, so I will not receive the acknowledgement. I will wait for timeout and I will send all outstanding frame or waiting frame or all frame in the window. I will resend them again. Right. Here we have another note. Why the acknowledgement is delayed? يعني the sender, the receiver sends acknowledgement, but the receiver processes acknowledgement here. There is some delay. Why this delay in receiving the acknowledgement? Because the sender was busy in retransmitting all the frame. So here, frame 1 timeout, frame 1, 2, 3. So the sender is busy now. So after receiving the acknowledgement, it will be waited until I finish retransmitting. So the physical layer for retransmission. So now the sender is busy with retransmission of 1, 2, 3. So any acknowledgement received in this time will be delayed. Okay. So when acknowledgement 3, for example, arrives, the sender is busy responding to retransmission, so it will wait it. This acknowledgement, and once it's received, it will slide down. Okay? Here this is the two difference in this example compared to the previous one. What will happen if I lost a frame, and what will happen if I am retransmitting and receive acknowledgement. Clear? طب from this example بقى, what is the main disadvantage of go back in that we need to enhance in the next protocol? And each protocol we find this its advantage or problem, so we enhance it in the next protocol. So what is advantage from this example in this protocol? With delay acknowledgement from what's the reason of this delay acknowledgement? Resending all the frame, not resending. I already sent one, two, three, and received it correctly. However, because I lost frame one, I have to resend two and three again, and this and this advantage. I sent two and three twice, so I wasted the bandwidth and unnecessary. So what will happen back in the next protocol, which is the last one, is to resend only the lost frame. Received correctly خلاص, and when resend only the damaged one or the lost frame, not resend all the window again. And this is the last protocol in this chapter, selective repeat automatic repeat request. So instead of go back in, go in any frame and resend all any frames, now we will selective. We will resend only the lost frames, not all the window. This is the main advantage here, or the main enhancement of in selective repeat compared to go back in. Right. To do this بقى, now I have in go back in, we have window frames 0, 1, 2, 3 need to be sent, and the receiver was waiting only for one frame, or n can only size can only one. Now, if I lost any frame, I have to resend all because Rn is still waiting for the same frame. For example, if Rn is equal to 2, so I am waiting for 2. If I receive 3, I will discard it. So I have to resend all the frame again. To solve this problem and consider if I receive مثلا 1 or 2 correctly or 2, 3 correctly but lost one, what we should modify in the receiver? الويندو سايز. So now I need why? Because if the window size is equal to the transmitter or sender side, 0, 1, 2. Now if I lost 1, but received 2 and 3 correctly, what I will do? I will 2, store 3, so I will not discard them, but I am still waiting for 1. But at least I will not discard or delete 2, 3. Store them and waiting for 1. So the next step, receiver after timeout, sender after timeout, the sender will retransmit 1. In this case, small update, you are by only increasing the receiving window size, the receive window size, so I can receive multiple frames out of order بقى, and any frame has an error or damage, so I will retransmit it and put it in sequence again. So the main advantage in selective repeat request, we only send or resend, retransmit the damage frame or the error frame. So it's more efficient for noisy channel. Why? لأن noisy channel, it's expected that we have many frames with error. So if we used to go back in and each time we retransmit all the window, it will be very costly and very, يعني, it will be very bad from data rate point of view. I will retransmit all the window several times. But here, if I have bad channel or noisy channel, and I have one frame or multiple frames with error, I will resend only these frames. So it's more efficient in case of noisy channel. But now, يعني, the disadvantage or the cost بقى of enhancing the transmission side is the receiver is more complex. So now, as the receiver side, it will be more complex. Why? Because we increased the receiver and I can receive the frames out of order. So it will be a little bit complicated. I'm waiting 3, but I received 4, so I will store them. I missed 5 and 6 مثلا, but received 7, so I will store it. I missed 8, but I received 9 correctly, I will store it. Then I will still waiting for 3, so 3 coming, I will slide. So the process becomes a little bit complicated rather than just waiting 3. And receive multiple frames, and at the same time, I have to respect the order. Okay, so first, it is efficient for noisy channel because only the error frame or a damaged frame is resent, but the receiver is a little bit complex. The third بقى change here is the size of the send window and receive window. So the size of the send window now is 2 to the power m minus 1, and the receiver window is the same size, 2 to the power m minus 1. Take care بقى now. The size of the in go back in. What was the size in go back in for the send window? 2 to the power m minus 1. Minus 1 down. فاف الام مثلا equal to 3, ف 2 to the power 3 اللي هو 8 minus 1 يبقى size 7. Now it's selective repeat 2 to the power m minus 1 in the exponential. So if m equals 3, means 2 to the power 2, so size is 4. Selective repeat 2 to the power m minus 1 in the power, but and go back in 2 to the power m, then minus 1 after the power. Okay, what's بقى get you confused? Receive window size go back in all time it's 1, whatever m. And usually I give you m equal 4. What is the receive window size? Most of you make it n to the power 3. 2 to the power 3, no, 2 to the power m minus 1. Yeah. In go back n, it's always 1. Whatever m, it's always 1. In go back n. But here, in selective repeat, it depends on m. So it's 2 to the power m minus 1. So in go back n, it's always 1. In selective repeat, 2 to the power m minus 1. So the window size is different. Okay? Right. Smaller window size. If I decrease the window size, it means I will send less because the window size, number of frames I am sending until I receive an acknowledgement. So if I decrease the window size, it means that I will send less. It means that I will not fill the pipe or the link. Well, it means less efficiency or less utilization of the link. If you remember the example from last class, the utilization percentage of the link. Okay, so if it's a decreased window size, it means that I decrease the number of transmitted frames. It means less efficiency or less utilization of the link. Okay, right. In this example, I received 7, I received 9. So when I will be shifting or slide the window and deliver the data to the network layer, when I receive 3, if I receive 3, what will be the shifting? So once I set an order frame, I will deliver to the network layer. So if I receive 4 and 7, I will not deliver them to the network layer because it's out of order. And network layer waiting the frames in order. So I will receive them in the first layer and store them. But I will not deliver them to the network layer until I receive in order frames. So when I receive 3, I will have 3 and 4, so I will deliver them and shift to 5. When I receive, مثلا, if I receive 5, then 3, I will shift to 6 and then the network layer. Okay? So in this example, if I ask you after receiving 7, will it be delivered to the network layer? No, because I'm in order frames. Will in order starting from, for example, if I receive هنا مثلا 8, will I deliver 7 and 8 and 9? No, then I'm still waiting. So it should be in order. We starting from the beginning of the window. Other than that, I will just receive them and put them in the window and wait for completing in order frames. طبعا this is the frame I am waiting. Okay, this frame these frames can't be received. If I received any frame outside my window, I will discard them. I'm waiting only the frame inside the window. But any frame outside the window, I will discard it. Okay? Yes. I have to wait for the window. But if مثلا 8 and 9 and 10 received, I will not do anything. I still waiting for 3. Just about all the window or part of the window, it depends on number of completed frame. So what's important is the start of the window. This is the design of selective repeat. In this case, it's similar to the go back in. We have 3 events at the sender, 1 event at the receiver. I send the data and wait for the acknowledgement. But now the send or the receive window size is 2 to the power n minus 1, not 1, like go back in. This is the first difference. And also here I am waiting for acknowledgement and the receiver can send not acknowledgement. So the receiver in this case can send two things, acknowledgement and not acknowledgement. What we mean by not acknowledgement? means that I received something, but not in order. So in the previous example, I am waiting for 3. Okay? So if I receive no, was number 3. It means that correctly, not acknowledgement with number 3. I am waiting for 3. That is another change here is from the receiver side, I can send acknowledgement if I received the correct frame in order, but if I receive the frame out of order, I will send not acknowledgement. Or if I receive طبعا frame with error. If مثلا I'm waiting for 3, I received 3, but 3 has an error. So I have to resend it again. So I will send not acknowledgement 3. It means resend the 3 again for me. I received it with error. Okay. This example, why we have to make the window size greater than 2 to the power n minus 1, similar to what we did in go back in. That is why we use 2 to the power n minus 1, because of the extreme case if all acknowledgements lost. So if the window size for m equal 2, I'm sending 2 frames. For m equal 3, if m equal 3, okay, so the size window is 0 or 1. لا ام لا سوري minus 1 هيبقى 2. Okay, it means I will send 0 and 1. So I sent 0, I will send it correctly. I will send acknowledgement, but the acknowledgement will not be received here. So I will send 1, I received correctly, so I will shift Rn to 2, but the acknowledgement is lost. So after timeout, I will resend 0 again. So in this case, the receiver will not get confused and will discard 0 because it's already received and acknowledgement. But if the window size is large بقى, if the window size is greater than 2 to the power n minus 1, so I can send 0, 1, and 2. I will receive 0 correctly, so I will shift 1, received 1, shift to 2, received 2, shift to 3, so that the new window in the receiver side is 3, 0, 1. Okay? But now acknowledgement, all acknowledgement lost. So I will resend 0, which is the first 0 here. But now the window size is large, greater than 2 to the power n minus 1. So the receiver will consider the retransmitted 0 as a new 0 for the new window, which is correct, which is wrong. This 0 is the old one, retransmission, not the next one. So if the window size is greater than 2 to the power n minus 1, I will get confused between what I will retransmit and what is new. Okay? Because of this, we make it exactly equal to 2 to the power n minus 1. In this case, 2 to the power n minus 1, so I receive windows 2 and 3 inside my here. If the window size is large, so I will consider the next 0 from the new window, which is wrong. Okay? This example and this extreme case show why we select window size to be 2 to the power n minus 1 and not greater than 2 to the power n minus 1. Any question? Okay. This is a code from the sender side. The sender is يعني similar to go back in, instead of يعني we will add part to deal with a not acknowledgement. So it will be the same. I will handle new requests similar to what we did in go back in. When I receive request to send, I will check if this frame inside my window. I will frame start to the same as go back in. One timer is started for each frame. I take care from this. I start one timer. So timer per frame, not per window. Okay. At the receiver بقى we have a new port here يعني at the receiving port at the sender when I receive acknowledgement and when I receive not acknowledgement. So this is a new part compared to go back in and هنا to go back in there isn't not acknowledgement. Not acknowledgement is new in selective repeat. So if I receive not acknowledgement, I will check if this not acknowledgement related to something inside my window between SF and SN. So it's inside what I already sent. So I will resend this number. For example, if I am sending from 0 to 3 and I receive not acknowledgement 2, it means that I will resend 2. I will resend this frame and start a new timer. طبعا. Each frame I resend, I will start a new timer for this frame. If I receive the acknowledgement and the acknowledgement in my window, so I will delete this frame and slide my window. Okay, but this part for sliding, I receive acknowledgement, so I will shift my window or slide my window, and this part for retransmission if I received not acknowledgement. Okay, but it's similar to go back in and instead of increasing this part for not acknowledgement. Okay, and now the arrival event at the sender can be acknowledgement or not acknowledgement. With if valid not acknowledgement arrive, I will resend this frame. Okay. When I time out, I will start a new timer and resend the frame with timeout. Okay. What about بقى receiver side? Receiver side هو اللي هيبقى a little bit complex as I told you because now I need to deal with acknowledgement and not acknowledgement and now I have window size. So if I receive the frame and this frame not corrupted يعني not has an error and I didn't send not acknowledgement before, okay, and this frame is corrupted, so I will send if I receive the frame with error, I will resend not acknowledgement. But take care here, I will resend not acknowledgement only one. So for example, if I received frame one with an error, I will resend not acknowledgement for one. Will resend one. If I received one again with error, I will not resend. I will not send not acknowledgement again. Not acknowledgement only send one for each frame. So here, if the frame has an error, I didn't send before not acknowledgement for it, I will send. But if I send not acknowledgement, I will resend it again. I send the not acknowledgement only one. Why? To not يعني confuse the channel, to not fill the channel. Because if I have the same error, I shouldn't resend not acknowledgement again and again several times. I will make the channel busy, useless يعني. Okay, this is for not acknowledgement. If we receive corrupted frame, not acknowledgement hasn't been sent before, I will send not acknowledgement to tell the sender side to resend this frame again. Okay. If the frame bar is not corrupted, whose sequence number is within my window, I will store this frame and mark the slot is received. So I will receive this frame. But if it's in order, I will deliver this frame to the network layer. If it's out of order, I will just store this frame. Okay. So in any case, if I received frame correctly without error and within my window, I will store it first. But when I will deliver it, only if it's in order. In this case, I will deliver it to the network layer and shifting my window and send acknowledgement stop. Okay. If I have continuous frame or consecutive frame is starting from Rn, from the first frame in the window. So in this case, I will deliver these frames to the network layer and slide my window. If it's in order and starting from Rn, the first frame in the window. Okay. Few notes about few important notes here for selective repeat request. In selective repeat request, each frame send or resend need a timer, which means that the timer will have a number. So each frame will have a timer. So the timer per frame, not for all window. Okay, and each timer will have a number equal to number of the frame. For example, frame 0 will have timer 0, frame 1 will have timer 1, and so on. Okay, this is the first note. If I ask you, I have مثلا window size contain 4 frames, how many timer I will start it? 4 timer, not 1 timer. If I send one window but 4 frames, I will send it. I will initiate or start 4 timers, and then number of timers equal to number of frames. Okay, this is the first note. At the receiver side, we need to distinguish between the acceptance of the frame and deliver to the network layer. This is what I said. I told you. I can receive the frames out of order inside my window. Once it's inside my window, I can receive it out of order, but I will not deliver it until I receive it in order. And this here in the delivery. In A, I received 4 and 6 and 1 and 2, for example. I will not make any shift, I will not deliver them. But once I received 0, so now I have 0, 1, 2 in order, with starting from the first frame in the window, so I will shift in B to 3 direct. Because 0, 1, 2 in order was starting from the Rn, from the first frame, so I will make the shift. So for 5 and 6 here, I accepted them. So I accepted the frame. I don't deliver them. Yes. I'm waiting for 3 now. And I'm meaning that I shift my window, I'm waiting for 3. So I will send that 3. I received 2 and 0, 1, 2 طبعا. I received 2 and I'm waiting for 3 now. Okay. So now if I received مثلا 4, I will send not acknowledgement to 3. If I receive 2, I will send acknowledgement 3. So what's important here is to differentiate between accepting the frame and deliver the frame. I can accept the frame. So for example, 5 and 6, I accepted them, but I don't deliver them to the network layer. What I will deliver them in order 0, 1, 2. Okay, but I will not discard 5 and 6 because it's inside my window, so I will accept them. What I will discard here, if I received a new 0, next 0. So there's a difference between accepting a frame and deliver the frame to the network layer. This is important to know the difference. وطبعا two conditions to deliver the frame to the network layer. First, I have a set of consecutive frames, in order frames, and this set is starting from the beginning of the window. These two conditions to deliver the frame to the network layer. It's on order, consecutive frames, and starting from the first or the beginning of the window. Acknowledgement بقى acknowledgement is sent when deliver the data to the network layer. So this is the question you asked about. When I deliver 0, 1, 2 to the network layer, I will send acknowledgement 3. Now I'm waiting for 3. So the acknowledgement and selective repeat are sent when the data delivered to the network layer. Okay? And if the data طبعا belong to any frames, for example here, I received 0, 1, 2 in order, I will deliver 0, 1, 2 directly. I will deliver 3 frames, but I will send only one acknowledgement 3. So acknowledgement 3 here accumulate all 0 and 1 and 2, account for the 3 frames. So only one acknowledgement is sent for or any frame delivered. Well, last note and the not acknowledgement send only once. So if I receive the same frame with multiple errors, so I will send only a not acknowledgement 1. I shouldn't resend a not acknowledgement again. A not acknowledgement is sent once for each window position. Okay, وطبعا it has numbers equal to the first slot of the window. Not acknowledgement means I am waiting the first frame. I received one frame with an error, or I received one frame out of order, but I am still waiting for the first frame in the window. So the number of the not acknowledgement will be the number of the first frame in the window. I am still waiting for the first frame. Okay. For this example, this is the same example we take and go back in. I send frame 0, I received acknowledgement correctly, so I will shift my window. Now send frame 1, I lost frame 1, but I will continue send 2 and 3, put it in my window until timeout. Okay, timeout for 1. Now the main advantage of selective repeat, I will resend only frame 1. You go back in, same example, we take it and go back in a few minutes ago. And go back in, when I lost 1 until 2 and 3, I will resend 1 and 2 and 3 again. Now in selective repeat, I will resend only 1 because I only lost 1. And 2 and 3 already stored. So once I received 1, I will shift directly to 4. I don't have to wait for 2 and 3 to again. As I store 2 and 3, I will shift directly to 4. And when I receive 2 here, I was waiting for 1. 1 is lost. I was waiting for 1. But I received 2. What I will do? I will resend not acknowledgement with 1. I received 2, but I am waiting for 1. So when I received 0 correctly in order, I sent acknowledgement. But when I received 2, not 1, I sent not acknowledgement. Once the sender receives not acknowledgement, it retransmit directly this frame. Okay? And once I received 1, now I have 1, 2, 3. I will shift to 4 and I will send acknowledgement 4. So now if you see from this example, I didn't send acknowledgement for 2 and 3. Why? Because I received them out of order, I stored them, but I didn't send acknowledgement. And when I delivered them in order 1, 2, 3, I sent only one acknowledgement for 1 and 2 and 3. So here, and I don't have to send 2 and 3 acknowledgement for 2 and 3 because I received them out of order, and when I delivered them all group 1, 2, 3, and I will send a direct acknowledgement for 4. I'm waiting for 4 now. This example is important to know. When I send frames out of order, I will send not acknowledgement. I will store them, and once I receive the missing frame, I will shift directly all the frame and deliver all the frame directly and send acknowledgement with the next with the waiting frame, the new waiting frame. Event size here 4, yes. And here I received 0 correctly and in order and from the starting of the window. So I will shift the window. So I don't have to wait all the windows to be filled. This is a question asked in the first of the class. So once I receive from the beginning and in order, I will make shift. Okay? Here نفس الكلام. Here I didn't receive 4 yet. So I will shift and waiting 4. But the main idea of shifting at the receiver side is to receive the frames from the beginning in order. Okay. So frame 2 arrive and is stored and marked but not delivered until I received 1 and 2 and 3. I will deliver them directly to the network layer. Okay. Here طبعا النوت acknowledgement is important. Not acknowledgement is sent when I receive frame out of order. I will send not acknowledgement. Okay. Only 2 acknowledgements are sent here because 2 and 3 received out of order, and when I received in order, I delivered them directly and sent only acknowledgement 4. ده طبعا last thing is البيجي باكينج. This بقى the practical case when I make bi-direction communication. Bi-direction communication means I will send the frame with the acknowledgement. So the sender has and acknowledgement for the previous received data. So now in piggybacking, Here it work as sender and receiver, and the point that is next point is work as a sender and receiver at the same time. So I will send my data. I fix the data here. I will send my new data with acknowledgement for the previous received data. This is what we named piggybacking. The frame will continue data and acknowledgements. Okay, this is a practical case. But for simplicity, we studied all the previous techniques as a one direction, just for simplicity. But in practical, I will send the frame with acknowledgement the data. So once I receive the frame now, I have to extract the data and extract the acknowledgement to know acknowledgement for the previous data and the new data received. So I have to differentiate between the data and the acknowledgement. And now in this case, each node will have three events, and each node work as a sender and as a receiver at the same time. So now each node will have three events. Okay. So what's important here is just to know in practical case in bidirection using piggybacking, it means I am using in the same frame, I send data and acknowledgement in the same frame. That's it. Any question? Okay, for this last part, and we finish chapter 11. Inshallah, midterm will include 3, 4, 5, and 11. And next time, inshallah, will be review for the midterm. And I hope you all study well before the next time, because it will be review. So I need you to answer in the review. And if you want to make some bonus, there will be some bonus for you if you answered in the next class, yani for review. Nah? 1 point. Okay, thank you.